Hey everybody, it's time for Cooking with the Colonel. So the Ravishing Mrs. Ritter had a special request tonight for some chicken fricassee. So she is often, I want to call her my producer. She basically finds some of the recipes that I do, and she found this one, sent it my way, it looked real good. More importantly, it looks easy that even I can do it. So chicken fricassee. I always thought that was kind of it's not chicken fricassee, which you would think maybe that would be what I might end up with, some sort of freaky chicken dish. No, it's chicken fricassee, which is a French word, basically is to cut up and stew. It's basically the deal. So fricassee, they think it's a mix, but frire, which is to fry, and casser is the French verb for to hit. So it's basically cut up something cooked. That's the origin of that, I guess. So chicken fricassee is what we're going to make. It's pretty easy. I got the ingredients together. Why don't we go ahead and just roll right into it here. So what I've got is all the directions and recipes are down below, and I'm trying to work this here, and again it looks upside down to me now, so I'm trying to, there we go. So I'm gonna what I'm gonna do is kind of get the ball rolling here. So 2 pounds of chicken. Look down below. I'm trying to, again, upside down, so look down below for the directions and the ingredients. But I got 2 pounds of chicken. Now these are the Costco packs. It's basically 2 pounds of chicken breast. Now the actual recipe calls for chicken thighs, but the Ravishing Mrs. Ritter would prefer chicken breast. So, and all I'm going to basically do is I'm going to salt, pepper. And again, if you got an issue with pepper, then go and you can forego that, I suppose. These are big chicken breasts, and they come 2 to a pack. And what I did, I went in and I cut them in half. Just basically, they're about a 1/4 inch thick, I'm guessing, for the most part, just so they'll cook evenly. Some parts a little thicker than others, but I'm going to salt and pepper these, and we'll fry them up a little bit here. So let me get these salt and peppered first. And be careful with this chicken here, this raw stuff, kind of yucky. So, heard a joke. It reminded me. Some folks mentioned on my last video that I was wearing a white apron. Not so worried about getting stains on the shirt today, but joke. Somebody was like, "Well, you ought to wear a red apron. That way with tomato sauce you won't be able to tell." And I was thinking about a joke that I heard one time about this armies facing off against an invading band of barbarians, and commander comes walking up wearing a red shirt, and they like, "Well, what are you wearing a red shirt for?" And he's like, "Well, in case I'm wounded, they won't see me bleeding." And his men were like, "Wow, that's smart. That's great. To keep inspiring the men and all that." And General got up there looking all gallant, and then he took a look at the invading army and what he was facing. He turned and looked back at his orderly and said, "Orderly, go back and get my brown pants." So we're just going to salt and pepper these, and then I'm going to reset over to the oven. Let me just put a little more salt on here. I'm going to reset to the oven, and we'll brine these up. So we'll be right back. All right, we're back. So I've got my chicken all seasoned up. I'm going to go ahead and lay these down in the pan. A couple of tablespoons of olive oil. Got a big high-sided skillet because I'm going to be making a lot of sauce with this. And we're going to serve this with gravy. I'm sorry, with rice. So nice high sides, because I'm gonna. The best part of this is the gravy. We're gonna have kind of a creamy, mushroomy, vegetable-y gravy. Looking to brown these, probably like 5 minutes a side or so. These are cooking pretty quick. They're pretty thin. 5 minutes, I guess that's probably, now that I think about it, might have something to do with the chicken thighs. So we'll let these cook a little bit. We don't really need to worry about cooking them all the way through, because we're going to put the sauce in it. We're going to simmer it in sauce for a while. And again, as a general rule of thumb, the longer you cook something, the slower you cook it and the lower temperature you cook it. It just seems like this just gets better, doesn't it? So, heard from Benjamin yesterday. He's doing well. Said he went off campus for the first time since he went back. So they let him off campus, and he went to get him some food from a buffet, or actually from some restaurant. I don't know if it was a buffet. I asked him what he got. He said blueberry pancakes and hash browns. So he's up there in Connecticut up school. He said he misses Waffle House, which we have down here. If you don't know what Waffle House is, you're missing out. Waffle House is pretty awesome. So I'm just kind of flipping over, kind of checking here. You see, it's browning up nice. As thin as we cut these, it's probably going to end up being about 3 minutes, maybe 4 tops. I'll flip these over and brown them up, and we'll finish this up. I'll be right back. All right, probably about 3 minutes with this side, but I mean, that's kind of what you're looking for. It's just kind of done. Not real concerned if maybe when I'm all done with this, if there's a little bit of pink on the inside, because it's going to get cooked. But cut them thin like that. That's the nice thing about chicken breasts, is pretty easy to tell when they're cooked. Now, that being said, you know, a lot of chefs these days prefer cooking with thighs because there's a lot more flavor in it, which I always thought was kind of interesting. I always thought the chicken breast was the best part. It's the most meat, but it doesn't have the flavor that the other parts of the chicken have. So you got to do a lot to chicken breast. The good news is we got to do a lot to it with the sauce. So flip those over. We'll give this about another 3 minutes or so, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So stand by one. All right, I think that's been long enough here. These are browned up enough here. I'm going to go ahead. You want to remove these. I'm going to put them on a plate, set them aside. Looking good. They certainly smell good. Nothing like frying stuff up in olive oil. It gives it a nice smell. Like it a lot. All right. Now, in this same pan, we've got a lot of flavors here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of butter in here. Now, how do I tell tablespoon? Well, if you look at the side here, you see it's got marked, which I never knew before. I always thought, well, shoot, I'll just got to like melt it and measure it or whatever, but it's right there on the side. So 2 tablespoons of butter, salted butter. There we go. And it goes. Let it melt. And we're going to add our vegetables. I'm going to get this melted here. Now, folks have asked about this pot. This is a Cuisinart high skillet here. Oven friendly too, by the way. So I'm going to mix this butter in. Got the heat on medium. I've got a large onion chopped up. I've got 1 carrot peeled and chopped up. And I've got 1 celery stalk chopped up. And then 8 ounces of mushrooms. All going to go in here with this mushroom here. Or with this butter. Some of the olive oil. Add the butter adds some fats to it, so we're going to need that later when we make kind of a roux, because that's where we're going to get kind of a thickened gravy from this. Got this milk fat in here. Very nice. Okay, good. I'm going to go ahead and add our veggies. So here they are. I got them all pre-chopped for you. I figured you didn't want to hear the chopper going, so. And I got 8 ounces, which comes in a handy dandy package here, and I went ahead and kind of rinse these a little bit, so hopefully most of the worms and dirt and everything else are out of here. In it goes, and I'm going to saute all of these in this. Spread it around. We're looking at basically about 5 minutes or so till it softens the vegetables up. Now, it's been my experience with these onions that it tends to kind of soak up oils as you cook them. So we'll see how this goes. So I'm going to kind of let these go for a little while. I might need to add a little bit more oil as time goes along, but we'll see. I'm going to let this go, and we'll let these saute for a while, and I'll be back in a minute. All right, back again. So that was about 13 minutes. So they're looking pretty soft now. You see the steam coming off the vegetables there as the water cooks out of them, and it's softened up, and the onions are turning. And I love the smell of the onions with the mushrooms. Man, that smells good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add. Now I've got the butter in there with a little bit of fat. I'm going to make kind of a roux here. Which is a basis for a gravy. So I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Just kind of shake it in there, and that'll give us a nice little gravy. I'm going to kind of stir that in and cook it for about a minute. Kind of get it all mixed in. You see it starts to kind of thicken up a little and clump together some. And I'd love to cook. My son Nathan will be getting home from his deployment here at the end of September. I love that he loves to cook as well, and he kind of picked that up over the years. We really encouraged him to cook, and I just love that. I mean, he's quite the barbecue chef now. Actually, he's got his own little barbecue sauce that he makes that's to die for. So that's about a minute. Now what I'm going to go with now is half a cup of white wine. Now if you don't like the wine, then I suppose you could use grape juice, white grape juice or something like that, but just a cheap wine. Don't put the good stuff in there. That's for drinking if you have it. But looking for half a cup. Put that in. Now I'm just wanting to stir that around, and what I want to do is, now the alcohol is going to cook out of this. So the alcohol has a lower boiling point than water does, so the alcohol starts coming off and you'll start smelling it, and it leaves the wine flavor behind. So what I want to do, that smells good. What I want to do, I love cooking with wine. It just really adds some complex flavors to the food. I got distracted. Oh, maybe the vapors are getting to me. So what you want to do is kind of just cook this here for a few minutes until about half that wine kind of cooks out. So just looking to reduce it a little bit here. So we'll let this go for a few minutes. Probably going to be about 5 minutes or so. Now, what you want to look for too, if you got any like the chicken bits or anything like that on the bottom of the pan, use that wine in your wooden scraper here. Notice I'm not using a metal scraper. The Ravishing Mrs. Ritter would have my head if I did. So the wooden scraper here, scrape up the bits that are left on the bottom of the pan, And that's just going to make your gravy that much better. That's the good stuff there. Wine and mushrooms and onions. Oh, that smells great. Cook this down here for about 5 minutes. About 5 minutes or so, we'll be right back. All right, back again. So you can see there's not much liquid left. This kind of thickened up. Obviously, that's that flour that's kind of clumping that up. So it's all ready for us here. So now we're going to have the magic. Now we're going to make the complex, heavy gravy wonderfulness that's about to happen. So what I'm looking to do is 2 cups of chicken broth, or actually I'm going to use chicken stock. It's a little heavier. Well, mostly because that's what we have. So 2 cups of chicken stock going in. Oh no. Should be Francais, I suppose, since it's a French dish. Duh. Okay. And then 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. Now my kids always give me a hard time because I say whipping cream. Put the extra wh with the W's. I don't know why I do that. I've listened to some videos from before, and I've heard Mom do that too. I think that's where I get it from, so I don't know why, but I do. 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. I'm going to save that rest of that for my coffee in the morning. All right. Out of the way, kind of mix this up. Now I've got about, well, it's one of those pre-packaged, because my parsley died in my front yard garden. So normally I would just go out there and pick about 10 or 15 parsley leaves, and that so we had to actually go buy a pack of parsley. So it's Italian parsley and about a teaspoon or so of thyme, and I do have that in my front yard garden. So this is probably about 10 or 15 parsley leaves and about a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of thyme, fresh thyme, and you sprinkle that in too. We'll mix that all in as well. Mix that together. Got my heat up on medium. Mix that all together. Now you got all the, busting up any of those heavy, if there was any clumps or anything like that of the onions and mushrooms or anything else. So it's going to start to look good. Now, all we do is add the chicken back in. So we'll bring this chicken back in. Put these back in there and kind of float them in here again like we did before. Very nice. And we want to submerge this chicken, make sure it's covered, and kind of bring this up to a simmer. And then we're going to simmer it for probably about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm probably going to go a little bit longer than that. Honestly, like I said, it just seems like the longer you cook something and the slower, the better it is. So I'm going to bring this up to a simmer. I'm going to make sure I get all my stuff off my spatula here. Bring this up to a simmer, because what I'm looking to do is reduce this down and thicken it up. So I'm going to cook this for probably about 20 to 30 minutes. And just look for this sauce to reduce once it starts simmering to the point where it's thick enough where you want it. And then salt and pepper to taste if you need to jazz it up a little bit, and taste as you go. And when we come back, we'll see what it looks like. All right, so worked out to about 30 minutes. I'll let it cook. You can see how it cooked way down here. So I reposition here. So about 30 minutes, just a low simmer, and here's the final product. Turned out real nice. Boy, it smells great. So here we go. So nice. The gravy, the longer you cook it, the slower, like that, just a low simmer, really thicken that gravy up nice, and with the mushrooms in it and all. So chicken cacciatore. Let me blow on it first, because you know what's coming. I'm gonna burn my mouth. I got it over some rice here. It's delicious. And it's easy. The vegetables really make it. The onions in it, the cream with the chicken stock and all. Oh, I'm gonna take another bite. That's good. Delicious. I think the Ravishing Mrs. Ritter are gonna like it. I'm gonna give this this high mark. So I'm thinking she's really gonna like this. So, and I know you will too. So hope you like it. Don't forget, the directions and the ingredients are down below. Super simple. It's not difficult at all. If I can do it, you can do it. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, like button, and subscribe. And this is the Colonel saying over and out. We'll see you next time.